Now, when we spoke, Carlos, a couple of years ago, you said the Amazon was at a tipping point. But now it seems things are getting better. Is that right?
Well, things are really getting very close to a tipping point. We have had increasing deforestation in the last decade, very high deforestation rates in the last 4 years, all over the Amazon, 20,000 square kilometers deforested in 2022, more than 30,000 square kilometers also were degraded. So we are getting very close to the tipping point. If we exceeded 20-25% of all the Amazon forest clear, probably we exceed. There is no way to come back. Irreversible tipping point. However, of course, particularly in Brazilian Amazon, 61% of the Amazon forest, we had this almost 43% reduction in deforestation from January to July. And it's very likely that we are going to reduce 50% this year, and certainly to reach zero deforestation, zero forest degradation before 2030. If all Amazonian countries do the same, then yes, we have a great opportunity to save the Amazon.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, is it realistic, this pledge from President Lula to end deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon, I assume he's talking about, by 2030? Is that realistic?
It is realistic because more than 90% of deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon is illegal. This is controlled by organized crime, land grabbers, illegal mining. A lot is, more than 40% is land grabbing. So also selective logging is mostly illegal, more than 80% is illegal. So combating the organized crime is really the way to go. And all Amazonian countries are promising to do. We hope the summit will come to these conclusions to combat the organized crime. So that's why I think it's doable, really getting to zero deforestation, zero forest degradation, even before 2030, if we succeed in going in the direction that we are seeing in this first 7 months of this year.
And just remind our viewers, Carlos, how important the Amazon is when it comes, to absorbing carbon emissions.
Well, in the 1990s, the Amazon forest was removing more than 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide per year. However, unfortunately, due to the climate change, the global warming, increase in the frequency of severe droughts, 2005, 2010, 2015, 2016, and 2020, 4 droughts in less than 20 years, and the deforestation degradation. So all of southern Amazon has become a carbon source, no longer a carbon sink. So that's why we're saying we are at the edge of this tipping point. So parts of the Amazon, the primary forests are still removing carbon, but the Amazon is no longer removing that much carbon as 2 decades ago. So we have really to stop deforestation. Then we have to start a very large scale forest restoration, a restoration of hundreds of thousands of kilometers in the Amazon.
Yeah, it's interesting. When we were filming there 2 years ago, scientists were saying that the forest was emitting more carbon dioxide than it could absorb. But you think with reforestation, that can gradually change?
Absolutely, because the secondary forest in the tropical forest all over the planet, but in the Amazon, the secondary forest grows very, very fast. For instance, 1 hectare of a secondary forest regrowing removes about 15 tons of carbon dioxide per year for more than 30 years. So that's why it will be also important combating the climate emergency. We are talking about a project called Arcs of Restoration to restore forests in areas highly deforested, and that would remove more than 600 million tons of carbon per year.